This is McCook's Mr. Bill. So honored to have you here. Well, we got a pretty good snowstorm coming in here today. Absolutely. And the snow going to be about 4 inches, maybe 6 inches deep, depending on who you believe. Be that as it may, how about a story? Okay. Snow. Snow can be your friend or your enemy. The farmers need it for moisture, but the enemy it can be definitely when you're driving on the roads. But it ain't just for them that it can be friend and foe. Criminals find the snow as a friend and a foe. No question. When I was a young kid, I heard numerous people brag that the safest time to go poaching for animals, killing animals illegally, was to do it in a snowstorm. Not very many people out, and for sure the game warden didn't come out on those kind of days. Not back then much. And so they could get away with a crime. Absolutely. Later years, I've had people in McCook, when I was on the streets of McCook for 35 years, I had a few people tell me that the best time they had with transporting drugs was in a snowstorm. Cops don't stop you in a snowstorm. And so that was their idea, that a snowstorm was their friend. I would hope you would try neither activity. Be that as it may, it's not always a friend to even the bad guys. About 1900, 120 years ago, give or take, a local man, he rode over to his neighbor, and there the neighbor was laying dead on his front porch all by himself. He lived, and been shot. He'd been shot. Well, the old boy, he rode to town on a horse and told the sheriff. The sheriff came out, and yeah, he'd been killed, murdered. And so he said if I was going to do the shooting, he said I'd have done it up there on that hill, and went over there about 150 yards, and there next to a tree, somebody had walked up to it from the other direction, leaned down in the snow, and fired around, and they ejected a shell too, and killed that man. So he just followed the tracks in the snow over about a mile to a neighbor's house, and that tracks went right into that house. So he went in and arrested that guy immediately, and the cartridge was the same cartridge that that guy's rifle shot. And between that and the tracks, that guy, that's right, he was tried and he was hung. I said hung, for murdering that guy. Absolutely. The snow was not his friend, no question. But it ain't just back then. Not too many years back, town over some distance, a guy robbed a store. Okay. And he did it in a snowstorm. Well, they found out the next morning that it had been robbed, but it didn't snow enough to cover up the tracks of that guy. And so they just followed over to the apartment house, and with a little extra deduction and a search warrant, they got the guy, and it was solved that quickly. Snow tracks are not always a friend of the criminal. But the criminal, we hope that you don't try any of those kind of activities, whether it's a snowstorm or otherwise. But the snow has been a friend and an enemy to the bad guy, just like the rest of us. You guys have a good day.